right, guys, we're talking Super Bowl today, and obviously we had to bring in Mr. Dolphin Slayer Ken Dilger. So for the people that don't know, who are like me and maybe didn't realize you actually played football,
right?
Why don't you tell people that you actually played?
I did play. I played for 10 years,
As he flashes that ring.
7 with Indianapolis and 3 in Tampa. 2003 Super Bowl champion, which was incredible. It was a great experience in my life, and as you can imagine, all the pomp and circumstance of that day, that week was incredible and one of my greatest memories.
Right. So, like, compared to the other two, you can actually talk about it, I mean, Mike Wood thinks he's, like, a football expert, but, like, you've actually been there, done that. So, like, what's that week before the Super Bowl look like for these guys?
Well, back then, in 2003, we were the last team that went from the NFC Championship team or game straight to the Super Bowl week.
Oh, wow.
So we played in Philadelphia, tore down that stadium, and beat the Philadelphia Eagles on a Sunday night. Came back to Tampa, had our walkthrough around the stadium with the fans, Super Bowl trophy. And that Monday morning, we left for San Diego.
Wow.
So we didn't have a time like they do now, a whole week off or the prep.
Wow. That's crazy. Especially because, like, for such a big game, that's not a lot of time to rest up.
Yeah, I think that's why they do it now, because of all the media and pomp and circumstance now with all the travel.
This year, who are you kind of rooting for, or who are you seeing?
I think it's going to be a great matchup, kind of a rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl. And I think both teams have their weaknesses and their strengths. But, I'm leaning towards San Francisco just because John Lynch, my old teammate's the GM there now.
Oh, awesome.
And head coach Kyle Shanahan was a defensive assistant in Tampa Bay in 2002, 3, and 4. So I got to know him a little bit. He's changed a whole lot, and he's having a great career as a head coach. But I'm leaning towards San Francisco.
See, that makes me feel better. I'm leaning towards San Francisco, so if he's saying it, then we're right. I guess the pomp and circumstance, that's so different from when you were in it. So, like, what are they facing there?
Well, I think, look at social media. Back in 2002 and 2003, social media maybe was just getting going. Now you have the Taylor Swift, Swifties out there with all this crazy buzz about Taylor Swift and being there, supporting Travis Kelce. I mean, it's such a worldwide phenomenon with instant gratification of social media and what you post on there and what you can post and how many people reach it within seconds. The game has grown so much over the last 20-some years, and it's grown into this worldwide event, not like it was back then, but now it's just more of how many countries get to see it, how many people get to watch it on their phones, their computers, that they can't attend the game. So it's a mass media frenzy now,
right.
So much more than it was, years ago.
Dad probably made me watch
Right,
the Super Bowl. He probably didn't want me rooting for you though, because people called you the Dolphin Slayer. So
Well, that's because your dad, your dad is such a Dolphins fan, and back when I was with the Indianapolis Colts, and I had some of my greatest games versus the Dolphins. 3 touchdowns in one half versus the Dolphins back in '97. So I gave your dad a lot of crap about that, and I sent him the box score. I'm like, hey, remember this? He's like, yeah, I remember that. Shut up. So it's a lot of fun.
So do you have any Super Bowl traditions that you do?
No. For about a 10-year period, I was part of a group called the Taste of the NFL, and it was an organization where all the local chefs, every team, every city had a chef and a player go represent them in the Super Bowl. And so we would raise money for food and homeless people in America to give them food pantries.
Do you have any predictions for final score, MVP?
You know what? I think it's going to be a somewhat high-scoring game. Both sides of the offenses are doing well. Defense, you never know what's going to happen in the Super Bowl, but I think San Fran is going to be 31-24. Super Bowl MVP is going to be McCaffrey.
See, everyone's getting real close. So you and Dad are actually very close. You both said same MVP in San Fran, and your scores are really close. So
yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Mahomes on one side of the ball with Travis Kelce, and that offense is going well. San Francisco, Purdy, he's having a great year. He's got so many weapons around him. That defense can score as well. I think both defenses can kind of turn the tide. on getting some defensive turnovers and some quick scores. So I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an entertaining game for sure.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for sitting down and talking, Super Bowl with us,
It's always a great time. I've had a lot of memories of the Super Bowl that week, the players, the event. You get the ring. You get the memory of being, one of about 3,000 players around the history of the league. I think this is number 58. I think it is. So it's a great time. It's a great event. Everybody wants to talk about it, and I'm always happy to share my thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, and make sure, obviously we're going to be watching the Super Bowl, so we hope you guys watch it too, and we'll see you guys next time.